Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Xgene and proteinX. In this tutorial video, I'm going to talk about student t-test and ANOVA. So basically, I will discuss the practical application in research precisely. So this is very much confusing that which situation, which test are required. So if you see this video, I hope it will be cleared. So let's begin. So first, we need to know that what is student t-test. So student t-test is this is the use when two independent groups are compared. So this test it analyzes between two independent groups. So as you see in this image that we want to analyze the cytotoxicity in between two different groups. Those are the control group and the drug A. So this is why we want to use the student t-test in this situation. So another thing is that when you do the one directional test from the control to the drug A, that will be the one-tailed t-test, and if it is like two-way, both way, then it will be the two-tailed t-test, right? So as you know that the t-test are the two types, unpaired and the paired. So what is the unpaired t-test and when to use? So unpaired t-test, it analyzes the significant difference between two independent unrelated groups. So as you see in this image that there are two different kind of the groups. So one is the untreated groups. This is the control group. There is no drug treatment, but other two groups are the same kind of groups. Those are the treatment groups, right? So we want to compare the control and drug A and control and drug B. So in both cases, we want to analyze the cytotoxicity in between control and drug A and control and drug B. So you see here, these are the unrelated groups because the control and drug A, this is the unrelated. So this is why we want to use the unpaired t-test. But paired t-test, this is little different. This t-test used to analyze the significant difference between two independent correlated groups. So correlated means like paired. So here is the paired indicating the correlated. So if you see in this image that here is the drug A, drug B and drug C. So all are the same kind of group, right? These are the correlated group because all are the treatment groups. So we want to analyze the cytotoxicity in between them. So here this is why the paired t-test we need to select instead of the unpaired t-test, right? So I hope you can understand in between the paired and unpaired t-test. So paired t-test basically is for the correlated groups, but the unpaired t-test is basically the unrelated groups, right? So next is the ANOVA. So this is very much confusing that when we need to use the t-test, but when we need to use the ANOVA. So I already talked about the t-test. And ANOVA, you need to use the significant difference between three or more independent groups. This is the mostly different in between ANOVA and t-test. So the ANOVA, that is for the two or more independent groups, but for the student t-test, that is only for the two independent groups. So as you see in this image that we want to analyze all of the significant difference of the cytotoxicity in between drug group, but the groups are more than two. So this is why we want to use here the ANOVA, right? So ANOVA is the two kinds of the ANOVA. There are one-way ANOVA and two-way ANOVA. So one-way ANOVA, this ANOVA it used when the factor or variable is only one. So what does it mean, the factor or variable? So if you see here this image that we want to analyze the significant difference in between drug group. So here we want to analyze only the cytotoxicity. So this is why the factor or variable is only one. So we want to focus only the cytotoxicity in between drug group. So this is the one-way ANOVA. Whereas the two-way ANOVA is used to analyze when the factors or variable are two. So if you compare between two-way ANOVA and one-way ANOVA, so two-way ANOVA, this is this is the factors or variables are 2, but in the ANOVA the factor or variable is only 1. So if you see this image, that before I showed that only cytotoxicity we focused there, but here there is the another factor, that is the cancer cells. Which kind of cancer cells? So here is the lung cancer cells and ovarian cancer cells. So we want to know that these drugs are the cytotoxicity effect of these drugs in 2 different cell lines. So we need to focus the cytotoxicity as well as the cancer cells. So this is why there are 2 different factors. One is the cytotoxicity and another one is the cancer cells, right? So this is why we use here the 2-way ANOVA, right? But one important thing is that ANOVA and pair t-test, it looks similar in some cases, right? As I showed you before that the pair t-test, so you want to use the comparison in between 2 different groups, right? But in the 2 different same groups. But if you see the ANOVA, it looks also similar, right? So here also you see the in the ANOVA also it is a comparison in between 2 groups. Yeah, you are right. If you think that, you are right. So this is basically the comparison in between 2 groups. So if you want to compare in 1 by 1, that's okay, you can do that pair t-test or ANOVA, no problem. But the problem is that if you have more than 2 groups, like 3 or 4 groups, then it will be very complicated and it will be time consuming if you want to do the pair t-test 1 by 1. But if you do the ANOVA instead, then you can get all of the comparison result at the same time. So if you use if you have the more group, then it will be too time consuming to go around to every 2 groups for analyzing significant difference. So this is why you need to use the ANOVA instead to save time. Alright, so this is all about the t-test and ANOVA precisely. I talked about that. So if you like this video, kindly hit the like button, share it, and if you have any queries, kindly write in the comment section. Thanks for watching.